Multi-platinum selling rapper Nicki Minaj is speaking out in support of President Trump as he discusses possible military action in Nigeria.
Started with a Truth Social post from Trump on Friday, which says, in part, Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for the mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries.
Now, those comments were echoed by Nicki Minaj on Saturday, the Grammy-nominated artist who has been vocal about her Christian faith, writing, quote, "We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian." Minaj's post got a response from UN Ambassador Mike Waltz, who told her, quote, "If you ever find yourself in New York, come by the U.S. Embassy to the United Nations. I would love to speak to you in more depth about what our administration is doing to protect Christians' freedoms all over the world."
Minaj responded saying she would be honored to make the visit. Throughout her career, she has largely stayed away from discussing politics, so some people were surprised to see these comments from her. Writer Jake LaHutte says on Blue Sky Wealth, "Today I learned that Nicki Minaj is more or less pro-invading Nigeria," and journalist Olga Nestorova simply writes, "The weirdest timeline." Look, I'm not for invading Nigeria or really invading anywhere else, but I think it's fine to be wary of the wholesale slaughter of Christians taking place there. There's obviously no campus protests going on. Everybody's been very understandably sad about the plight of the Palestinians, but there are oppressed people all over the world that they don't get celebrations and parades and protesting. But I think it's awful, just awful what's happening there, and I'm glad the administration is paying attention to it, and I'm glad that Nicki Minaj had some kind words for the president and just, support, sympathy for persecuted people. I like to see it. I was happy.
Nicki Minaj is allowed to get involved in whatever type of politics she wants to. I'm just confused about America First, the president talking yet again about going into and invading another country that certainly...
He said country of concern.
Okay, but that's confusing to me if that's the next step. But the U.S. president says he may want to deploy troops if that's the country of concern. We're thinking that we're going to go help handle that situation. Nigeria said it would welcome assistance from the United States for any issues. They have issues going on now with Boko Haram, an al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group, but it's not only killing Christians. According to all the reports that I've read, and Nigerian people there, it says it's killing Islamic people, Christian people. So why they're targeting one group? Yeah, so then they would welcome the help, but they don't want you targeting only coming out and saving Christian people or trying to help them with that. They need help across the board. They said this is not
everyone from al-Qaeda and Boko Haram.
Exactly. So that's why the premise and the framing of this seems inaccurate from what reporting on the ground looks like. I don't know where the president's getting his information from. People are saying that it's not only Christians. People are getting killed across the board. So if argument, the country is like half and half. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Half Islamic, half Christian. So if you just look at the numbers and people are getting killed by a terrorist group, it's not only Christians.
Well, the people doing the killing are Islamists.
They're not only killing Christians, is my point. So the point is that when you go in there and say you're going to protect all the Christians there, it's not like a faith-based murder situation going on. It's actually a terrorist-based murder situation going on from what I understand. No, this is what the president is telling us, but Nigeria is saying no. They're saying like they would like the help.
A lot of Christians are being killed. Also, non-Christians are being killed. They're both being killed by
So they said they welcome the help, but don't try to make it like this is some religious attack, because that's not what they say is happening. So we're just debating with the country over logistics of what's happening. They're welcome to help.
The actions in Gaza are attacks on mostly Muslim people, but not entirely Muslim people, because there are Palestinian Christians. Their church got destroyed. That was a major point of contention. So I would say that it's just a similar thing.
We're not funding al-Qaeda and we're not funding Boko Haram. So it's totally different. Israel was the people doing the attacks that we were also funding. So that would be our connection to not being America First.
I've seen video of leaders of the Boko Haram, al-Qaeda. Again, I'm not an expert here. I'll have to look a little bit more closely if we're going to keep talking about this in the future. But it was a female leader, hijab Islamist, commanding her forces, she's a military leader, commanding her forces to go out and pillage more Christian settlements and rape more Christian women And
okay, I haven't
that's
seen or
pretty
authenticated this
horrifying.
video that you're referring to. So
Yeah.
when I review that and I see it in an actual legitimate news source, then I'm happy to debate that. But that right now, that's hearsay. And like I said, all I'm going is from government officials from Nigeria and our own government releasing statements and articles that I can confirm have done reporting, and journalists that have actually been there, and people that I know that are Nigerian. And so this is the sources that I'm using. And so I'm not going to go off of like hearsay. All I'm saying is that the U.S. wants to get involved in another country. We should understand wholly what's going on there. Americans wholly don't want the U.S. to get involved in any.
Country.
Well, how are we going to? He's keeping a particular eye on this. What does that mean? He needs to break that down to us, because I mean, what are the next steps? The Nigeria is saying, yes, please come help us fight terrorism, but also please make sure you're framing this accurately. So I'd like to have a real conversation about.
I mean, we have a
actually going there.
mission to thwart terrorism, specifically those groups, ISIS, Al Qaeda, Boko Haram. We have a mission to fight them everywhere.
Yes, sure, but when we
are
attach
at
it to
war with them,
saying
they
they're only
attack
attacking one group, I think that he's misconceptualizing what's happening there, and people in Nigeria are saying that loud and clear from everything that I've read. So I think we need to see more coming out of here about why we would frame this as only Christians.
Maybe Nicki Minaj can go visit the embassy.
I would love
and
to
then
see
she
that.
can
Yeah,
report
Nicki
back to
Minaj
us
can
and let us
educate
know.
us or come on the show. That would be beautiful. But like I said, she's allowed to have strong feelings. That's her faith.
Of course.
And so if that is happening, then yes, let's do it. But this reminds me of a little bit of the South African farmers. He wanted this murders happening in South Africa at a high level to everybody. And President Trump says, "Oh my gosh,
like white or
it's like-
Christian people, you're like,
No,
oh, we gotta triple check this."
No, it's not triple check. The numbers were inaccurate. Murders were happening to farmers who worked on the farmland and owned them. President Trump only focused on white farmers and provided citizenship routes with a faster way to the U.S. So forget all the black people there? That's what I'm asking, because they also were being murdered. If he wants to open up citizenship from South Africa for people that are being murdered on farms, make sure everybody that's murdered, even the farm workers, can get citizenship in the U.S. He just is making a fast track for white owners.
No,
so that's
for wealthy.
okay.
Wealthy people,
which are mostly,
we don't have any.
we understand the history of South Africa, correct? With apartheid, so it's mostly white people then. So that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay, so then what are we
But I
talking
don't
about?
care.
The president should be clear about that. It's not an attack. He said white South African farmers. That's
It's not
untrue.
that we want them here because they're white. It's that we want them here because they're wealthy.
But it's untrue that they were being attacked specifically because they were white.
See,
He's
I
just
don't-
making that
I
up.
have this
You should
argument.
care
I don't
about the
care
truth.
I don't care
You
about
should care about the truth. That's what you should care about. That's incorrect
There's
factual.
no white farmers being attacked.
There are, but they're also black. Everyone's being attacked, and South Africa is majority black. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So he doesn't. By not mentioning them, he's neglecting that actually Islam people are dying, Muslim people are dying. He's neglecting it by not mentioning it. People are dying.
Okay, I really don't think the point is to downplay that, yes, Al Qaeda and Boko Haram and ISIS and other terrorist groups also kill and persecute other Islam. I mean, they fight wars amongst each other. They fight other Islamic sects. They fight Hindus. They fight Christians. They fight Jews. They
So
fight
it's not
non-religious
odd to you that he's
people.
just selecting one group to proclaim that he wants to go save and help, when other people are also there with all these religions that are like, hey, what about us? Like, it's neglectful, and he's misinterpreting what's happening.
Christians are a significant component of the people being attacked right now in Nigeria.
If we're comparing it to what he just did that was inaccurate in South Africa, it was incorrect. The white farmers were not the majority of people being killed on farms. And so that's what I'm saying. He
But just by
mischaracterizes what's happening.
Okay, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I do. I did a docuseries in
is
South
it-
Africa. I do.
You just said are not the majority, but are they I mean, white people are a minority in South Africa. Anyway, I mean, you know that we have to index crime statistics to the overall percentage of the population. So were they being disproportionately targeted? Not do they constitute the majority of crimes would be the issue here. And I don't care either way. They're welcome to come here because they are wealthy and will culturally assimilate and will not cause crime and not drain welfare resources. And black farmers in those, if they meet those same criteria I just outlined, are welcome to come here as well.
I just think our
anyone
president
who is
should be
wealthy can
well
come to
read
this
on what's
country
going on
because you're
worldwide
not going
before
to
he
take
tries to
advantage of
involve
welfare.
himself in
You're going
foreign
to have
affairs.
a job and you're not going to be
He should
our
just be
problem
well
or
read
a
on
lord of
what's
the
going
state.
on before he tries to involve himself in foreign affairs. And if he's just getting advised by one person that has an affinity to saving one group, that's awesome. But just make sure that he's also getting advised by other people on the ground that fully comprehend the full situation so that he can respond accordingly and not in just a piece of the way.
I'm just saying my immigration policy is not you're being persecuted, so now you have some right to come to America. I reject that. My
We
immigration
have asylum all the time.
Yeah, and I reject that. We should not bring people here just because they're being persecuted. We should bring people here because they are wealthy, they are smart, they are hardworking, they share our values, they will make our country great. That should be the basis of our immigration policy, not who we happen to feel sorry for at any one given time.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens in Nigeria when President Trump put troops on the ground just to save the Christian people there. I guess we'll just see what happens.
Not just to save the Christian people.
He did. That's what he's saying.
I don't think that's
what he's saying.
I don't think that's what he's saying. Lots more to talk about on Rising. Please stay with us.